Imagine being screamed at in public by 6 strangers while your teenage daughter is crying her eyes out, all because she refused to visit the grandparents who tried to take her away from you. That happened to me. But what those women didn't know was that I had a plan, one that would destroy their reputation in the very church they used to shame my girls. And let me tell you, the fallout was glorious. If you've ever been blamed for something you didn't do, or wished you could turn the tables on someone who tried to ruin your family, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more stories like this, because today's revenge story is one of the most cathartic I've ever told. I'm a 46-year-old single mom of 2 teenage daughters, 17 and 15, and to be completely honest with you, the last 2 years have been the most exhausting of my life. My ex-husband passed away in an accident last year, but before anyone starts to feel sorry for him, you need to know something. We were in the middle of a divorce, because he cheated on me. And not just a one-time mistake. He had an entire affair. And if that wasn't bad enough, he had 2 children with his mistress. Then, in some cruel twist of fate, both he and his affair partner died in the same accident, leaving their 2 little boys orphaned. Now, I don't hate children. I truly don't. But you have to understand, my daughters were the ones who discovered their dad's cheating. They were the ones who saw him sneaking around. They were the ones who told me what they saw. They lost their father, yes, but before that, they lost their sense of safety, their trust, their family, and then, before the funeral flowers had even wilted, my ex's parents, my former in-laws, started pushing. First, they tried to gain custody of my daughters. Second, they wanted to live with us. The custody thing is still in court. The living with us thing? Over my dead body. A few weeks ago, it was my youngest daughter's birthday. To celebrate, I took both girls to our local weekend farmers market. It's a lively place, fresh produce, homemade jams, warm bread, the smell of kettle corn in the air. I gave my daughter a little budget and told her to go wild, chocolate, sweets, whatever her heart desired. But after an hour, I realized she hadn't come back yet. Just as I was about to call her, my phone rang. Her voice was shaking. "Mom, there are these ladies, they won't leave me alone." I grabbed my older daughter's hand and ran, and there she was, my baby, cornered by 6 older women who looked like they'd stepped straight out of a church bake sale. They were berating her, scolding her, calling her unchristian for refusing to spend time with her paternal grandparents, and for not wanting to be a good big sister to her father's affair children. I saw red. I got between them and my daughter, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady as I told my older daughter, "Take your sister. Pay for what she picked out. Go to the car." Then I turned on those women. "What is wrong with you? You are grown adults, cornering a crying child over something that is none of your business." One of them had the audacity to tell me, "You should be obeying your husband's parents, like a good Christian wife." I nearly laughed in her face. "Oh, barf," I snapped. "My husband cheated on me, died before we could even finish divorcing, and you think I owe his parents anything?" The shouting got so loud that the market organizers asked us all to leave. These women actually followed me to my car, hurling insults, until I got my daughters inside and drove away. That night, after the girls went to bed, I logged into Facebook, and what I saw made my blood boil. My ex-mother-in-law had posted a sob story in their church's Facebook group, claiming my daughters and I had left them homeless and penniless. Not true, and that we were cruelly refusing to let them see their grandsons. She left out, of course, that the grandsons are with other relatives who are far more stable than she and her husband. And the worst part? She claimed that the other woman, the one my ex cheated on me with, was our surrogate. That I didn't want the babies because they were boys. Do you know what it feels like to be accused of hating children because of their gender? It's disgusting. But here's the thing about their church, they have one redeeming quality. They are very strict about cheating. Adultery is a big deal for them. And my ex's parents knew all about his cheating. So I decided it was time to show the entire church the truth. The next morning, I took the day off work and drove straight to a print shop. I printed everything, photos of my ex with his affair partner, including one of them making out in my living room, screenshots of his text messages to her, screenshots of texts from his parents supporting his affair, emails and messages from his parents harassing me during the divorce, and the worst ones, The messages they sent to my daughters after their dad died, calling them bastards and saying it was their fault he was dead because they had told me about the affair. When I held those high-quality printouts in my hands, I felt powerful for the first time in months. Then I spent hours creating personalized binders that looked exactly like the church's hymn books. And on the very first page, a full-page photo of my ex and his mistress kissing, with the caption, "The true love story of ex's name and mistress name." That Sunday, I walked into that church like I owned the place. Nobody checked the hymn book table in the back. They never do, so I slid my binders right in with the others and walked out. Then, I waited. By Sunday afternoon, the church's Facebook group was on fire. People were outraged. They called my ex and his mistress every name under the sun, so bad that the pastor had to step in and tell people to tone it down. And my ex-in-laws? Oh, they were humiliated. Some people were still angry at me for divorcing him, but even those people admitted it was understandable now. Within a week, my daughters got 2 apology letters and even an invitation to return to the church for support. And my ex-in-laws? They were so shamed, so alienated, that they left the church entirely. When I heard they had left the church, I felt relief. For the first time in months, my girls could go to the market without fear. For the first time in months, I wasn't waiting for the next Facebook post, the next public ambush, the next cruel comment. Justice, at last, had been served, and it was served in a way they would never forget. You know, people talk about forgiveness a lot. But forgiveness doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is stand up for yourself, and let the truth speak louder than the lies. If this story made you smile, smash that like button. It really helps the channel. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done in my shoes? Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next story of sweet, sweet justice.